morning, Year 8. I'd like to welcome you to our debate 2024. I would like somebody in the audience to volunteer or tell us what is the motion today. Yes, you had your hand up first. Nice, loud, clear voice. What's the motion today?
This House believes that students should be responsible for electing their head teacher.
Thank you, lovely. Looking forward to hearing from you during the floor debate. So that's our motion today. And I'm going to be judging that motion. As you know, from class that there, you'll be marked out to 25. You get 10 marks for style, 10 marks for content, and 5 marks for strategy. In terms of style, I'm looking to see that these 4 candidates will use humour, pitch, tone, body language, projection, vary their voice intonation, rhetorical questions, projection in general, but also I'll be looking to see that they don't rely too heavily on their notes. They don't just stand up and read from a piece of paper. In terms of content, we're looking for the use of peel, which we're all very much familiar with in the English classroom. And in terms of strategy, I'm looking for people to make and take points of information. We're lucky today we have our timer, and our timer will be using the stopwatch to time these speeches, which will be 3 minutes long. 30 seconds into their speech, the timer will. This will notify the speakers that now the time is unprotected and is open to points of information. At 2 minutes and 30 seconds, timer, this then tells the speakers that their time is protected and no one is allowed to make or take a point of information. Our summary speakers will have an uninterrupted speech. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce our first speaker of the opposition, Avika, whose favourite celebrity is her mum, and when she grows up, she would like to be a doctor.
Our school, our choice. We study, we learn, we write the exams. We should be able to choose who defines our future. Hello, my name is Avika and I'm the first speaker for Team Proposition. This means that we agree with the motion. This House believes that students should be responsible for electing their head teacher. I'd first like to define the motion. By students, we mean Key Stage 4 students only. By electing, we would follow the current electoral model. A team made up of the student council and school governors will draw up a short list of candidates. These candidates will then address the students outlining why they should be elected. Students will vote through a secret ballot. Exactly.
If it is only Key Stage 4 voting, then how do you know they will just not care about their vote as they're in year 11 and they're about to leave the school? So how do you think that they should be able to vote?
I think that they actually care about, because when you're in year 11, you might be leaving the school, yes, but if you've been in the school a long time, you'll know what's going around the school. You'd want the best for the people in year 7, don't you think? Well, maybe you won't, but I would. Now for my first point, I'm going to talk about to introduce my team. Our second speaker, Sheikh, will talk about the economic and educational aspect. Our third speaker, Abdul, will talk about the moral aspect. And our fourth speaker, Aaron, will summarize our 2 points. Now to my first point. I'm going to talk about how enabling students to vote during a young age can benefit them when they grow older. Opposition might talk about how we're pushing students blindly into voting without any preparation. But through year 7 and year 9, Key Stage 3, teachers will take time to educate students about the democratic system so children can be ready for voting. Through voting, you can pick up key abilities to look for proper candidates to represent you. Isn't that what you want?
Information.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't you think during our time in school there are more important things to learn about instead of voting?
Yes, there can be, but school is all about preparing us for the future. Don't you think if we are voting by this, we are being prepared for the future when we grow older, so we can actually come up with a proper decision of who we're going to vote when we're older, instead of just pushing us blindly into voting someone who we would pick just because they seem like a nice person. Anyway, to my second point, opposition might also talk about how children can experience peer pressure. But in the motion, we clearly find that voting will go through a secret ballot. This would prevent students pressuring others to pick a head teacher. Also, preparation for the this is preparation for the future. Who said adults can't be peer pressured? They can. Doing this can make students aware of peer pressure and the effects, furthermore preparing them for the future. Thank you for listening, voting proposition, and remember our motto, our school, our choice.
Thank you very much for that excellent opening to our debate, Avika. I'm now going to hand over to the opposition, Sammy, and his favourite celebrity is Luis Diaz, and when he grows up, he wants to be what did you tell me he wants to be? He wants to be a professor. Thank you very much, Sammy.
There's a reason why under 18s can't vote. It's because they're immature and biased. But before that, a rebuttal. You said that being able to vote for your head teacher would be a good way to practice for voting in the future. But that is why we have voting for young Mayor of Lewisham. We're already practicing, so why do you think we need even more? My team's points are Sammy will talk about bias and bribery. Naya will talk about how they were not mature enough. Rio will say on peer pressure and availability, and finally Thomaso will summarise evidence.
You told under 18s are immature and biased, but what makes you think over 18s are not also?
I'll pass that rebuttal to my summary speaker. Bias. We all have it. And as teenagers, it is a very dangerous thing. How will we as immature children know if the teacher is any good and not just someone who's likeable and appealing, who has no idea how to manage finances, facilities, deciding trips, hiring teachers, working with the government, and communicating with board of governors? All key things that head teachers need. Secondly, it's a waste of time. Why waste money, time, and education to vote for a head teacher when they don't even make the decisions? The board does. Why not vote for the members of the board? They are the ones that make the decisions. They are the ones for power. When we vote for
information.
Exactly.
Shouldn't the community be the one choosing the head teacher, because they'll know how the community, like how they want it to be run? The board won't be the people inside the actual school. It's the students.
As I'm saying now, the head teacher does not have that much power. It is the board. They are the ones with the power. They are the ones who make the decisions. All the head teacher is a pawn for them. All they are is a puppet for the board to use to manage over the school. When the head teacher, all the head teacher can do is make suggestions. It is up to the board to do it. So why should we be voting on the head teacher? Well, if we voted on the board, we would be voting for someone who actually has power tonight. And finally, an important thing to remember is that we don't believe that we shouldn't have a say. We believe that we shouldn't have the final say in borders. But remember, maturity doesn't come with age, experience does.
Thank you very much, Sammy, for that engaging and interesting speech. I would now like to call upon the second speaker of the proposition, and that is Sheikh, and his favourite celebrity is Napoleon Bonaparte. And when he grows up, he wants to be a politician. Thank you, Sheikh.
Hello, my name is Sheikh and I'm the second speaker of the proposition team. When I look in this room today, I see the next Oscar Ramirez, I see the next Mother Teresa's, I see the next Cristiano Ronaldo's, I see the next Muhammad Ali's, and I think we can accomplish that if we were to elect a head teacher that can have a little destiny to our future. We need somebody who can help us reach our full potential, and I think we can do that if we were to choose somebody that benefits us. We, as a school, are filled with a long, diverse community, people coming from different countries, and when we come, we like to see people that spark a light in our mind saying, ooh, I like that person. if I get closer to that person, I could do something with my life. I could go home to my mother and parents and I could make them proud. We need somebody to benefit our future. And a survey showed in 160 academies in the last 5 years, 21 of those academies had superheads. Superheads are paid twice the salary of ordinary head teachers. This isn't a waste of money because this is because of what they accomplished at their old schools and what they did for young students, like yourself sitting in this room. All of you, I know you are determined. You are very determined to make something of your future. I can see a lot of footballers sitting in the crowd right now, especially that one right there. It'd be beautiful to have somebody create a chance for us where we could grow up and we can live and we can make a good future for our children in the future. Not yet, by the way, in the future. Make sure you. I think that we should elect somebody that makes decisions for our school because frankly we need it. Now we cannot go up to Miss Baldwin and say, oh, we don't like her, we have to deal with it and we face it, we do our work and we get through to it. Now we can say, oh, this candidate does not benefit me because of this reason. So we need, as I said again, we need to choose a candidate that suits us and that makes sure we can get far in the future. This was my speech, and remember our motto, our school, our choice.
Thank you very much, Sheikh, for that engaging and charismatic speech. I can definitely see the future politician in you. So I'd now like to call upon the second speaker of the opposition, Naya, and she would like to be, her favourite celebrity or person from history is Harriet Tubman, and she would like to be a vet. Thank you, Naya.
My name is Naya, and today I'll be discussing why students should not be able to hire our head teachers. My reason for being against this motion is because students are not mature enough to make decisions. My students are not mature enough to make decisions for people with important responsibilities such as funding school funding, hiring teachers, purchasing things for school, and Yes, please.
When you said students are not mature enough to make decisions, we have a lot of students that are in the school council and that are mature enough, and kids that are in the debate that are sitting right here. What would you say to that?
Personally, I don't think that a lot of people here are very mature. See, the people sitting here in front of me, I can see that their mind is big and they know what's best for them in their future. But there's still a lot of people, I feel like there's more people that are not mature. There's a more large number of people that are not mature than people that are mature in this year and the school. Carrying on with what I was saying, hiring teachers, purchasing things for school, and communicating with the school, communicating with the board of governors, and etc. So imagine if the schools did allow us to choose our head teachers. We would most likely choose somebody for our own benefits. This is another reason for not being. Oh yes, please.
You said you would choose someone for our benefits, but isn't that a bad thing? That's true, because this will enable us to actually thrive in the school. So do you have to say that?
I don't I think we can agree to disagree with that because, sorry, can you say that again, please?
You said that we will pick people who will benefit us, but don't you think that's a better thing so we can thrive in this school? What do you have to say about that?
No, because some of us have needs, well, not needs, but things that we want that are not very important. So things that could cost a lot of money that we want in the school that are not important. Another reason for us not being fit for picking a head teacher is because you could pick somebody who is very laid back and careless with money and will spend things on new.
Very much, Naya, for that informative speech. I would now like to hand over to the third speaker of the proposition, and that is Abdul, and his favourite celebrity is Lionel Messi, and he would like to be an entrepreneur when he grows up. Thank you, Abdul.
Let me ask you, how do you connect with your head teacher? Hello everyone, my name is Abdul, and I am the third speaker from Team Proposition, and today I will be discussing the moral side of this debate. First, let me ask you, what would the school be without its students? We are all the community, and so we should be able to choose who will lead our community forward as we are the next generation. Our current head teacher is absent in our day-to-day school lives, and we should be able to choose, we should be able to connect with our head teacher. You should be able to see your head teacher as a role model and someone you can look up to, as if they're your friend. There would be a major boost in morality among the kids, and they will have a choice, and we will lead them. They will have a choice on knowing our voice won't be silenced.
Information.
Exactly.
If the head teacher is absent, then how's the school being run?
The head teacher is absent in our day-to-day lives. That's what's found there. By having a head teacher that is present in our day-to-day lives, they will have more an impact on us than on the school, because our current head teacher works more behind the scenes. If we are able to choose the head teacher that we want, they can be more important to us than they are to the school. Finally, I think that allowing us to vote, we should find teachers that lead us on maybe a deeper level. For example, race. Many schools in our area do not have say a more ethnically diverse school board and head teacher. The power system is not very balanced. So. Thank you for listening, and remember, our school is our choice.
Thank you very much, Abdul, for that thoughtful speech. I would like now to hand over to Rio from the opposition. His favourite celebrity is Tupac, and he would like to be a basketball player when he is older.
Hello, I am Rio, and I am the third speaker of Team Opposition. I'm sure as a kid or teenager, you may have had an interview with a teacher. They may tell you lies and things that aren't truthful, and only adults will be able to pick up what they're saying because they've had experience with these type of things when choosing teachers, head teachers, people that have TP and many other things. Except
You talked about how teachers might tell you lies, but the motion we clearly defined that school governors would also be part of creating a shortlist for the candidates. What do you have to say about this? Okay, so basically you said that teachers might tell you lies to you, but we clearly defined in the motion that school governors will choose a shortlist of candidates which students will vote for. What do you have to say about this?
I will give this question to my summary speaker. why would they listen to what we why would they listen to what we vote? They haven't done it before. As an example of this, in French, we got the chance to vote for a French teacher, and it was mainly, and we all mainly voted for a teacher, but we still didn't get that teacher. So why would the school let us be able to vote for a head teacher when they didn't even let us vote for a teacher to cover our French? And also remember motto.
Point of information. Students don't like the feeling of being silenced, and so by giving them the choice
I
to...
didn't accept it. Wow. Anyway, maturity does not come with age, but experience does.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much. Now, you get to have your say. We're going to open up the debate to the floor. So I'd like to take some questions. When you're accepted to take your question, can I ask you a favour? Could you stand up clearly? Could you say your name? And could you say who your statement or question is for? Whether it's for the proposition, this team here, or whether it's for the opposition. Okay, so questions from the floor, please. Yes, please. Gentleman there.
Jacob's for opposition. You said we will have choose our head teacher for our own advantages. What advantage? What some examples?
Oh, I think you mean that for proposition. Yeah. What are the advantages of being able to choose your head teacher? That's a question for the proposition. Thank you, the summary speaker there. Can we have any? Yes, the back there. You stand up for me. Is that Diego? I think it is. Yeah. No.
You said we need a candidate who fits us, but what if no candidate fits us? Or would we just not vote?
Good question. What if there isn't a suitable candidate in the shortlist? Good question. Thank you. Very nice. And another question, please. Maybe something for opposition. Yes, please, sweetheart. Can you stand up for me? Thank you. Shh.
Sammy said that we need to vote, that we already vote for the younger revolution, and that we don't need more practice, but that doesn't practically work.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you. Adam.
Hello, my name is Adam, and my question is for Sammy. He said that under 18-year-olds are more likely to be immature. Would you still call them immature if there's so much people that are under 18 are achieving success?
So if they're achieving success, should they be judged by their successes rather than their age? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Shouldn't children be judged by their successes and not their age? That's for opposition. Thank you, Adam. Yeah, at the back. Thank you.
No, you said that students don't have enough responsibility to vote, contradicting the point that some students do still vote for the younger revolution.
Okay, so there's a contradiction there in your team. Maybe just reiterate what Naya's point was, Tommaso, and what Sammy's point was. The summary speaker will do that anyway. Yeah, yes, please.
I have a question. How do you think this will affect parents?
Good. Yeah. What are parents going to think of this, and how will it affect them? And how are they involved? Maybe. How are parents involved in this decision? Should they be involved? Excellent question. Yes, please.
I have a question for the prof.
Yeah.
It was stated that students would for a head teacher will help them for their future. So from their education and giving students for a head teacher that is actually cares about their education and someone that cares about giving fun.
Did you hear that? Yeah, she's got it. She's got it. Thank you, Erin. Okay, we've got time for one more question. Definitely. Can we have another question out there, please? Are there any teachers that would like to ask a question for Prop and Op? Anything they'd like to address, or a question for either Prop or for Op? Maybe one for each. We've got another question there at the back. Yes, please. proposition.
Don't you think some students, even though they're key stage 4, might still be a bit immature?
So age is not necessarily a guarantee of maturity. There may be some students in Key Stage 4 who aren't mature enough. Good, okay, good point. I think maybe we've got quite a few for prop. Is there somebody, maybe a teacher or someone that could give a question for opposition, please? For opposition. Anyone out there got a question for opposition? Sir?
Yes, my question would be about opposition would be, how do you propose to address any existing problems with the way that head teachers are appointed? How do you propose to address the existing problems? Is that relevant to you?
Okay. Currently, what could you do instead? What could you do instead? Shh. So you need to hear, what would you do instead? If this isn't what you would like, if this doesn't work for you, what would you do instead? Yes, please.
I have a question for Prop.
Thank you, miss.
You argue that students are mature enough in order to vote for their head teacher, and that you will alleviate any sort of problems by allowing the students to select from a committee that the board has created. So they narrow it down to select individuals. But how would you prevent peer pressure from students in electing that overall head teacher? How will you stop students from voting for the same person that their friends are voting on? How will you prevent any sort of situation like that from occurring?
Quiet. Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to give you 1 minute, teams, to quickly discuss that. 1 minute. Thank you. Thank you very much for your contributions to the floor debate. In the tradition of debate, we will go over to the opposition first to summarise their points and tackle points of proposition. So I'd like to introduce Tommaso, and his favourite celebrity is Jose Mourinho, and when he grows up he'd like to be a chef. Tommaso.
So I'd like to start off by answering the first floor question. Now, it was something about like the practice that we get by electing head teachers, but it isn't a real realistic practice because this isn't as a serious matter. But it's also not a joke about the practice that you get to follow up. On the second one, where I think someone mentioned, should you judge by success and not by the age? You should judge by success because that's what universities do, but not enough people are successful to actually be judged like that. And I think it was Mr. Puzzler's floor question. You could resolve this problem by having more people vote on the board instead of having inexperienced youth people. Now, the way for school was run by sophisticated people who are educated on this matter. This would be so much better for us, for our future. But would this be a reality if we actually got to vote? Hello, I'm Tommaso and I'm the summary speaker of Team Up, and I'll be summarising Sammy's point, Maya's point, and Maria's argument. Now, Sammy has spoken on the factor of bias. His point was constructed on the sole idea that some students would vote on a specific person based on whether they know them or the teacher could even potentially bribe them with something that could satisfy the student. Now, peer pressure may have also caused vital flaws in our school system's voting for the head teacher. Teachers would also have the vote would also have a second flaw, and that's that teachers may not listen to what the students actually voted for. Like some of my team mentioned, the vote for the French teacher, it happened, and the schools actually decided to rig it and change it. Do we actually want our school to get flawed and overrun with rampant corruption? Now, Maya's point had gone on about how our youthful minds are not capable of funding the idea of who to vote. In simple terms, we are not mature enough to make these decisions. She also expanded on how we can be dumb and think that everything is true. we are all very gullible in some way, as we also believe some stuff that our friends could say that is obviously quite fake. Now, obviously, if we believe what a random person in our school might say, then how are we fit to make the decision of our future? We need ourselves to actually think and make the right decisions. Because what would happen if we all got what we wanted, which would be PRKs? Now, to move on to Ria's argument. Now, Ria added on to how we might be gullible and are immature. But he also mentions how we are vying to get what we want. And when teachers promise, we believe. And I will add a personal experience. When I was in Set 2 Science, there was a teacher whom I will not name, who would always promise to do practicals. But out of maybe 20 practicals that she promised, she only managed to do 3. Thinking back to the point of how we are gullible, you need to remember that maturity doesn't come with age, and it is unnecessary. It is an unnecessary risk to bring upon our school to have a bad headteacher. Also, he mentioned that some teachers may end up targeting students if they found out that the pupil did not vote for them. How is this a good thing? Now, remember, a bit more.
I would now like to call upon Erin to close our debate today. Erin's favourite celebrity is David Tennant, and when she grows up she would like to be an actor. Thank you very much.
Hello, thank you for listening to everything that everyone said. It's such a privilege to be here today. First I'm going to start with some floor questions that were mentioned. So Miss Glazier, you said that manipulation and being forceful towards your peers during voting could happen, but you forgot that we actually defined that the voting would be in secret. So maybe you should have thought about that. Tiago, you said, what if there isn't a suitable candidate? But the thing is, you're forgetting that we will have at least 170 students voting in 1 year. So don't you think that at least one student will find a candidate that fits the suitable slot for for a head teacher in our school? Also, I believe there was a question asking, how are parents involved? Well, parents are involved knowing what kind of future their child is going to have in school. Okay, I'm going to now summarise what all of my speakers said. So Avika said that the motion, Avika defined our motion and delved into the society aspects and expanding on how we're preparing children for such a big change in their life. Our second speaker, Sheikh, talked about the economic and education aspect. He talked about the fact that if we have a head teacher that suits the students' needs, it will affect their future positively, as well as the world we build when we grow up. Our final speaker, Abdul, talked about the moral aspect. He went on to explain how giving us a chance to vote is so important because we are the ones being affected, so we deserve to have a voice. So I'd finally like to say, Naya, you actually said that students aren't mature enough to vote, but you're contradicting Sammy's point saying that we shouldn't be voting for head teachers, we should be voting for the board. So that's everything I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that great summary speech. I just need to add up the scores. Let's go going to be very close. That's going to take me a little time, maybe about a minute. Just while I'm doing that, perhaps a round of applause for our fantastic time. Okay, it was really, really close. If afterwards anyone on the team would like to come and get some notes, I'm happy to give you some notes. It's an exceptionally close debate, and at the end, it's just slightly pipped with a bit more style and a bit more strategy with one team. And as I say, there is 4 points in it, but this year's, maybe a drum roll, this year's